I'm glad we have a representative coming from the president of the city council's office. I call names.
So we're trying to turn those legacy renters into legacy homeowners to create more home ownership, to, create more generational wealth in our communities, because a lot of these places, it's just like one person, and then it's a lot of money being sent to that person as far as, the public housing aspect, but we want to kind of change the way that's being operated and to try to create more homeowner programs, especially for our younger generation. I think I hit everything.
Contact information.
What about the food desert? What is President Mosby going to do about that? They have already gone to great lengths, and the governor's been supportive of this. What's President Mosby's?
So I can't speak for Mosby specifically.
Well, you work for Mosby, so you are speaking for Mr. Mosby. So
no, but I'm saying I'm gonna take this back to him for sure. But I haven't spoken to him yet about this specific situation.
So President Mosby will come out to another community meeting since he's a council president.
Yes, I can have Mosby come out to the. Is that?
Yeah.
Have Mosby come out to the community.
Next meeting.
Yeah, next meeting. Yeah.
Next meeting.
So he'll be here next meeting. Oh, that's great.
You got cards?
Yes, I do have my business cards.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm too old to lie because my memory's not that good, so they say old folks, the best thing is don't lie and then you don't have to tell another lie. So there are 6 elected officials running for re-election next year that we know of. 6. I call out names. I do it on the 3 radio shows that I do every week, and I'm going to call out the names today. Tell these folks, if you know them, Doc Cheatham called out their names. Until they come forward and help us with a food market, I'm going to keep calling out their names. I'm going to call Van Hollen's name. He's running for United States Senator for re-election. We got a child here, so I can't say any profanity words. So he hasn't done a darn thing for us. Van Hollen, we know each other, but Van Hollen has not done anything. My longtime friend, I gave a good amount of money for this guy's campaign. We've known each other since we were friends. We're friends so much, I know him by peanut. I'm talking about Kwesi and Fume. Kwesi has done nothing for us getting a food market in this area. State Senator Antonio Hayes, who was a delegate, now is a state senator, has not done anything to help us get a food market in this area. Delegate Frank Conaway Jr. has not done anything to help us get a food market.
Don't love us. Don't love us. Don't do it.
Miss Wells has not done anything to help us get a food market. These are representatives who are running for re-election next year. Ambry, the new delegate for the area, has done nothing to help us in this area. So we're calling out names: Van Hollen, Fume, Hayes, Conaway, Wells, and Ambry haven't done a darn thing to help us, and they're running. They need votes from this area because they represent us. So the next time you see them, next time you talk to them, you tell them Doc Cheatham said y'all haven't done anything. And as I sent the message out, thanks to Ms. Powell, prove it that they want to do something to help us get a food market. Well, I got a couple more things. This purpose of the emergency meeting, even though we meet the 3rd Tuesday in every month, I figured I needed to bring the meeting outside because we probably did have larger representation in our Zoom meetings. But a lot of people were kind of reluctant to deal with the Zoom. So I said, hopefully the Lord will watch us. And Lord, yes, I know I prayed to a lot to give us some good weather today. And thank you. But I wanted us to have this last meeting out here. November 20th is a date I need you to put on your calendar. November 20th, we're hoping to do what we did 3 years ago. We're going to go back and do another petition for folks that live in this area to sign a petition as you did before, that we want these folks to agree with us. We demand a food market in this area. The area that we want it is right here at Monroe Street. A half a block up from where it was. We want the food market front to be the 1500 block of Monroe Street, and the back of it to be this back part. So what did I just see this drop?
Somebody in your yard.
Y'all have to mind me. Sometimes our neighbors throw trash, but they weren't throwing trash on us. They were taking care of their own trash. So I had to be very watchful of what goes on in this neighborhood. Very, very watchful. Okay, as I said, the purpose of this meeting is to deal with the food issue. We are very close. We're very close. Matter of fact, rather than me saying it, so I won't lose what little breath I got, Steve, I'm going to ask you to come up. Give us a little background on where we are as briefly as you can. Let folks know who you are and the fact that he's the writer from the Afro. I want to say he's written 10 articles now. I think it might be 11, but I think it's 10. But he is the one that's been covering our challenge to get a sign saying, Trans-America, we appreciate all that you've done, and we'd love for you to bring the money here to Baltimore so we can get us a food market. So we picketed Trans-America. We're hoping either Thursday or Friday. We have to figure out which day it's going to be, but then we hope to go see Mr. Haskins, who is the CEO of Harbor Bank, where the federal government, that's where they sent the money. That's one of the banks, black banks, that they sent money to help deal with redevelopment. So we will be going directly to speak to the CEO of Harbor Bank to let him know of our strong desires to bring a food market back to this area. We've had a food market here since World War II. That's how far it goes back, which means only a few of us, I think it's only 2 of us out here probably been there, and I'm not talking about myself since World War II because I was not here. I came a few years later. All right, one of the things that we need to do, we gotta get the community energized. Tomorrow will be my anniversary of coming out of the hospital after being in the hospital for 2 months. I had a major stroke because the day before I had a stroke, a year ago, I cut all those make money. I can no longer do what I did 30 some years ago. I used to deliver all the flyers myself when I was president 25 years ago. I physically don't have that capability. I cannot do it. And I don't want to die in office. I want to say I retired, and then the last thing that we built after we built the skateboard park up at Easterwood Park next year, that the next thing we will build will be a supermarket. Here's how we're going to do it. I'm giving us until the end of December. If we're not successful by the end of December, Dr. Cheatham totally steps down. I've done about as much as I can. I'm in bad health. I'm not in good health. This cane ain't for decorations. This cane is because I gotta use it. But I think we're so close. We're so close. We're closer than we ever been to building a food market. Here's what we want to do. Matthew Henson may not look like a big neighborhood to you, but in comparison to the density of other communities, we are very large. We have over 1,000 homes in Matthew Henson area. The reason why we have so many because we have row homes. When I lived up on Dorchester, there were only 10 houses in a block. In these blocks, we have between 45 and 55 houses in a block. So the density is totally different. What we need to do here is we need to do what we did 3 years ago when we wrote a plan before the city of Baltimore, and Baltimore City approved of it. Ironically enough, the city of Baltimore approved of what we had called the master plan for our community. I was still in the hospital and they called me and said, Mr. Cheatham, we got some good news for you. I said, you're not telling me I can cancel Christmas because I'm not going to make it. They said, no, you got approval of your master plan. The master plan did have in our plan that we had submitted a 300-person petition that basically said our number one priority of Matthew Henson is a food market. So we documented it there. And that was what was approved by the city of Baltimore. The reason why we did that, because we did not have our council people nor the mayor create a master plan themselves. So we wrote our own master plan. We're the same community that built its own park. The city can take no credit for this park. The state can take no credit for this park. Matthew Henson built this park. We designed the park, we created the park, and then we took over the other side of the park. Then we took over the 1500 block of McKean, of Monroe. Our community is committed to do what's in the best interest of our community. We need you, the community residents, either put up or shut up. This is it for me. We either get it done now, or I don't know who's going to be your next president. That doesn't have enough energy to keep doing this. Here's what we need done. We have 58 blocks of Matthew Henson. Half of it is in zip code 21217. Half of it is in zip code 21216. What we've done is to create a community that serves everyone in and around our community. Here's how we're going to do it this time. On the 20th of November, we're going to have a major event in this area. We, of course, including ASCO East Coppin Heights. Do we still have our president here? She's deaf. She's one of the strong supporters of Matthew Henson, and we strongly support her. We're going to ask the other communities surrounding us to join us, because what we need to do is on the 20th of November, that's the Saturday before Thanksgiving, we want to put out flyers, and we want to ask the residents to help us come away with no less than 300. Our goal this time is going to be 500. 500 signatures to give to our elected officials, to the banks, everyone that's interested in knowing how committed is Matthew Henson to getting a food market. We want to come away with between 300 and 500 signatures. We need every block to be accounted for, that someone is going to serve not as the block captain, but the block communicator. What we need is for one person before this evening, and look like I'm not going to be able to get it done by this evening, but we want people to sign up to distribute flyers to a particular block that we will designate. That way we know that every block is going to be taken care of. Now mind you, when I was in my youth, I did all the flyers myself. I can't do a block without getting tired now, to let you know. I can't do 58 blocks, so I need help. I'm going to give you the blocks. You know, we're not going to get everybody to sign up today, but let's go over to this. Is that you? I didn't see you when you came up here. Can I get you to do some recording for us? I thought that was you, but I said,
I actually was recording.
you were actually recording anyway, huh? Okay. Hopefully, right now. Okay. Pulaski, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay. Next one is Smallwood. 15, 16, 17, and 18.
15, 16, 17, and 18.
Praise the Lord. 15, 16, 17, and 18. Smallwood. Bentlow. Bentlow has 3.5. You got half of 15, 16. No, matter of fact, I can make it 2.5. I've gotten Boy Scouts of America, Roots of Scouting. I talked to Leo Burrows today. Leo Burrows and Boy Scouts Scouting for Roots of Scouting will take the 1800 block of Bitlow Street. They have a building, that's where they meet. So I talked